Hey, you're probably wondering, are we at a bottom yet? Are we going to go back up? Is the fear enough? Or is crypto going to pump? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, Joel with the Crypto Code here. Hope you guys are doing well. I want to talk about Bitcoin. I'm going to talk about crypto today. I'm going to talk about where the markets are and what you should be doing. Thank you guys for checking out my video today. I'm actually fishing on a jet ski today. Let me just pan around so you guys can take a look. I am over by Mare Island, around Cape Canaveral area. In fact, way in the distance there's some cruise ships, the VHB building, and you can see a bunch of really nice houses up there. I've been out here fishing, running around with these fishing jet skis here today, and I thought, let me go ahead, such a beautiful day, let me go ahead and talk about the markets right now. So, Trump got elected in November, and crypto markets pumped. The FOMO was high, the fear and greed was high. Crypto was pumping. Many of our charts and indicators saying we're very, very oversold. Basically, we were getting sell indicators right at the top. Anything above 100,000, 105,000, 109,000. This is when you take profits. See, in crypto, you want to buy when it's red and you want to sell when it's green. And so we'll always tell you, listen, this is time to take some profits. And as always, something happens and people will blame it on the news, but it's not the news. It's just how cycles work. And you'll see a big smackdown. You'll see a bunch of sellers and people exiting the markets. And then, Bitcoin will tank 10K in one day and then 10K the next day. And this is when we start to get into our momentum starts to go down in the markets. Now, is it a time to panic? Is it a time to sell all your bags? Well, it kind of depends. If you didn't take profits when we were in the high 90s to over 100s, if you didn't take profits on your crypto, then, and you're holding bags now, well, the question is, what do I do now? Well, if I look at our 1-day chart, I'm going to throw this on the screen here. In fact, let me just do this. Let me pause for a minute because I want to record this from my screen. I want to show you guys this chart and show where our momentum is going and where I think the crypto markets are headed next. Okay, I wanted to jump in and show you some charts here before I jump back onto the jet ski. So what you're looking at here is one of the most powerful charts that we have in crypto. If you don't have this chart, if you don't have these indicators, definitely check out the Crypto Code and you'll see why. So remember, in crypto, you want to buy when it's red and you want to sell when it's green. You also want to know which direction the markets are going, where our momentum is going. So what you're looking at here is a daily chart of Bitcoin. Now, don't worry if you don't know anything about charts, candlesticks, or anything. I think this will make perfect sense to you. And I'm going to show you something historical here that will be interesting. What you're looking at here are buy and sell signals in crypto and Bitcoin. And this is these red lines you see here. This is the resistance. This is where the price is trying to break above. And these green lines here, these are historical, structural, what were called support, where price will bounce down to. And all trading is really about is going level to level to level. In fact, let me kind of hide a couple of these things so you guys can get an idea here. I know I've got a lot of things on this chart. I'm going to go ahead and just hide a couple of these indicators so you can kind of get an idea of what you see here, just these candles, and we're just literally moving level to level here. But I want you to pay attention to this one right here, and I'm going to turn it back on here, and you can see this is our Crypto Code indicator, which shows us the market, the momentum of the markets. And you can see here, as we were coming up, we were getting above very high new highs, 100,000 there. We hit 103,000, got up to 108,000. Dipped back down here to 86, and then we came up here to our all-time high of 109,356, and then we've been dropping from there. And our momentum here, will that be the top of Bitcoin this cycle? It's possible. I don't think so. but I do think that it's going to take us a little while to get back up to those highs later this year. And I'll talk about that here in just a moment. This is a very, very powerful indicator. And you can see that we just printed what's called a down arrow that shows us that we are getting sucked down to these lower levels here. Now remember, in crypto, the way you make money in crypto, there's a couple different ways. My favorite way is actually trading crypto, trading Bitcoin, trading other altcoins, and knowing the times to buy and time to sell. You can see here on this indicator here, we have something here called the buy zone and the extreme buy zone. We haven't even entered the buy zone yet, but don't worry, we will. We're going to tap that buy zone here. I'm going to show you something kind of interesting here, and I've got to smush this a little bit, but we did enter the sell zone here at Bitcoin when we hit at 99,000. And when you start playing with the sell zone, this is when you start taking profits. A lot of people are buying crypto at the top, at these tops, when they should actually be shorting, starting to do shorting, or waiting till we get to areas like here where we get into these buy zones here. So you could have bought here, you could have bought here. Now I'm going to show you kind of an interesting trade setup here. You can see that our indicator is technically showing right now that we have a long-term trade that's potentially going to go up here and hit into these areas here of probably like 93,000, maybe even up to 98,000. However, this down arrow is a very, very powerful indicator. So it's very possible that we're going to come up and visit up to this area in here and then continue down. And if you question if that is accurate or not, I'm going to show you historically that happens every single time. Now remember, just because if we look at history doesn't mean that it's going to actually happen again, but I want to show you guys something here and see if you can see some kind of pattern. And I'm going to do this on a couple indicators here. All right, so let's take a look here at where we were on the last cycle of Bitcoin. This is in 2021 that we got in here. All right, so this is when COVID happened and money was flowing in the market, and you can see Bitcoin was extremely in the extreme sell zone, like really start taking your profits. This is when Bitcoin was at 7,000 and we cycled way up here. You can see the cycle top here, flashed right here, and then obviously we did what's called a double top here. Now, are we going to do that again? Maybe, maybe not. So if you look closely here, when our momentum, as we start getting into these areas here, and we start to get the bearish divergence here, we printed a cycle top. We're in these extreme sell zones. This is not when to buy crypto. This is when you should be selling crypto or starting to short crypto or Bitcoin specifically. And you can see that we always have this violent move down in Bitcoin when it starts to change our momentum, and that's exactly what we had. And you'll see that we've printed that down arrow, and then the trend continued down. We started chopping around sideways. We got into these buy zones here. In here we got into these buy zones here, and then we started to head back up. And let's take a look at this. The first sell signal was in April of 2021. Let's forward, market started to drop in May, so that was very fast. April, May, very fast. Then we started chopping around here in June, July, and then we started to make the uptrend and we printed the up arrow. So we were down in these areas for many, many, many months before we went up and tapped another all-time high. This was actually the all-time high, even though this was actually the cycle top. This is what's called the double top. Then we started getting those sell signals, and then we started into the bear market. And as you can see here, we tapped that sell signal right in here. So before we were in extreme sell, then we were just in sell, and you just had this brief moment to sell, October to November, and then it was done. It was gone, so it was over. We printed another down arrow, and then we started playing up here. You'll notice always when you hit a down arrow, you're going to go ahead and start trending up. So you always have a bounce, and many times that's called a dead cat bounce. And so you get that down arrow, you get these buying opportunities, boom, you come up to the support, and then you just start rolling over. And you can still play these waves. This is a great time to start shorting the markets, but when this trend starts to go down, you get a potential trend change up, and then we continue to go down. Now, there was a lot of other economic factors involved in here, and this is when Bitcoin went to 15,500. This is when a lot of our members were buying Bitcoin. This is when I was personally buying Bitcoin, because you remember, you want to buy when it's red, sell when it's green. And what's cool about this is you can actually see we started to dip into these buy zones and even extreme buy zones. And so even the extreme buy zone was 18,000. You can see we were in it. This is when you buy Bitcoin. So you buy Bitcoin when you're under these levels, and you sell Bitcoin when you go above these levels, especially when you start tapping the sell zone, and especially when you start to get to these extreme sell zones. All right. Okay. I'm going to come back. I'm going to go look at one more cycle here, and I've got to expand this. This will be worth your time watching this, everybody. Okay, so here's another cycle here. This is in 2019. So you can see here that we were down about 3,000. We printed the up arrow, and it was extreme all the way up to 13,888. And then we started getting our sell, get out of the markets, dummy, get out, get out, get out, get out. But when we printed our down arrow, you almost always will have another bounce from there. So this was October. See, this was the first sell side was September, and we go to October, and so we had buy signals in September again, October 19th, final sell signal, and then we continued to chop around, another sell signal all the way to February. So October to February, it was just really we had these opportunities to buy and sell again, and then boom, extreme crash right in here all the way down to 4,000. And you can see right here, this was buy opportunity times, this was sell opportunity times, and we didn't even go up to these levels here. We didn't even go to the sell area, because you never know how high you're going to go. But most likely that was definitely the Merkle top that time, and then we traded around. But all you have to do really is buy when you get into these buy areas, and sell when you get above the line, and start taking your profits on the way up. And then again, all right, so let's go back and show where we are right now. And the other thing you have to consider, in fact, is what are the general market sentiments? What's happening right now in our markets? Well, there's been a lot of bullish things for crypto, all right? Those are good things for crypto. However, sometimes these good things will take a while to pan out. Many of the things, the crypto reserve, the U.S. crypto reserve, Trump coming into office. But what you need to understand is crypto follows the markets. It follows the stock market, 100%. No questions asked. It follows the stock market. Stock market just had a 10% pullback. Bitcoin's pulling back. Will the stock market continue to go down? We're kind of at about a 50-50 right now, whether we're going to continue to go down or shoot back up for one last hurrah. And then we get into recession. We may already be into recession right now. But you guys can see from the charts here, we had our sell signals, get out of the markets, we tap the sell area, take your profits, take your profits, take your profits, and here we are. We haven't even hit into the buy zone. We are starting to get a little bullish news here, hidden bullish divergence here. And so we're probably going to go ahead, and just like you saw in those other charts, we printed that down arrow. We're probably going to go up and visit 93,000, maybe even tap 98,000, but it's probably going to continue to trend down a little bit before we trend back up. And who knows where we're going to go from here? Will we go up and have another double top? It's very, very possible that by year's end, we may have another double top, and we may come up and hit, 140. Usually it may be the double from about here, so 140 even up to 150 area. But again, you want to buy when it's red, and you want to sell when it's green. So to be safe in the markets, because you don't know, this could roll over, you may consider coming up here once we bounce up to these golden zones, and you may consider taking a lot more profits than you had before, because crypto will not go up in a straight line. Once you get to that down arrow, you're going to be in there for several months. So there will probably be some other buying opportunities. We're in some buying opportunities right now, but we haven't even tapped the buy zone or the extreme buy zone yet. So in crypto, my favorite way to make money is by playing level to level to level. I do have times when I go into these extreme buy zones when Bitcoin's there, and that's when I do my long-term accumulation, and then I sell when I get into these, start taking profits on the way up. But I make a lot of money in crypto just by trading level to level to level, and there can be a lot of money made in trading. It's the beautiful thing because you don't have to wait for 4-year cycles or those kind of things, and buying and hoping price will go up. Hope is not a strategy, guys. You want to go ahead. If you want to trade crypto, you need to learn some of these basics here. So that's one of our indicators here, and I will keep you guys updated. Most likely not, we're going to go ahead and trend down. Our next level here, probably we will tap this area here into 73,000, and it's possible once we hit a bounce up in here that we're probably going to trend down a little further down to these 70s areas, and maybe even visit down to these high 60 areas, and then maybe we may even come down into this 50s areas and get into maybe a bit of a mini bear market. Price will not just jump up in a straight line. A lot of economic factors have to play into effect of this, so we just need to accept the realities that these markets are trending down for a bit. We may have a pump up. We may have one more time where we come up fast, but if you can see from these charts, the chances are you're going to be a few months before we hit to that, more towards the end of the year. We're probably at a 6-month cycle low right now. So there's some great positive times for trading. This is a trader's market here in 2025, and long term Bitcoin's going to do great things. So just remember, if you're in altcoins, when Bitcoin goes down another 10-20%, your altcoins will bleed more from there. So if you're going to trade altcoins, just remember that you may want to consider shorting more when we get to these tops and we start getting these sell signals, and then trading more and starting long positions when we get to these buy signals. If you want to learn how to do that, jump into our program. Go watch our presentation, and we'll teach you about how we do this and how we make money in crypto. Okay, back to the jet ski. Okay, so as you can see from that chart on our 1-day chart, we're about to print that down arrow, which means momentum is strongly going down. We're probably going to hit some lower levels here in the maybe 74, 70K, maybe even to the high 60s here just very shortly. Probably a quick flush, and boom, that'll probably be our cycle bottom for a bit, and then we're going to bounce up. If we hit above 92, that's a good sign. If we get up to 95, we're off to the races. So we'll be in this chop accumulation time for, oh, there's a dolphin. Oh, there's a big dolphin out here. And so you'll have this really nice accumulation time right now coming up here soonly where you can swing trade these. And good chance that we will go back and visit those high 90s again, maybe hundreds, and then maybe towards the end of this year, for the fall time, it's summer, we may cycle up, hit 120, 150. But it's going to take some time. Now, if you're holding altcoins, many of your altcoins have probably dipped significantly, and I would make sure that you're in the right altcoins. If you're in some really sketchy ones, I mean, many of these altcoins in the next couple of weeks, they can go down pretty significantly. I saw TIA just in the last handful of days went up 42%. Now that's a good sign. I've started to see some of the meme coins. Yes, meme coins. Pepe just went up, I think 14% yesterday or so. And that is always a good sign that retail is kind of coming back. Now we're not fully there. I think we're going to see some lows here in a little bit, but this is the key in crypto. You buy when it's red and sell when it's green. See, in crypto, I don't really care what the price is, where it's going. I can make money in both directions, both long or short. And if you want to learn how to do that and how we do that in the crypto code with our trade alerts, with our automated bots, make sure you register for one of our workshops. Links are down below or somewhere on the screen. Register for our workshop, attend it, learn what we do. We'll send you $10 in Bitcoin for your time, even if you don't take action in our program. So the question is, you need to understand a little bit about charts. You need to understand about momentum. You need to understand about indicators. Don't listen to the news. Don't trade on the news. The news will get you wrecked, guys. It's all about the data and the charts. Buying on red, buying when price is going down to these extreme levels, and then selling and layering out when price continues to go back up. And we just continue to do this cycle to cycle to cycle. And I'm talking about every 6 months or so, you can make a lot of profits in crypto, that kind of trading. And even if you're day trading or even short-term scalping, there's a lot of money being made in crypto. Doesn't matter what the price is, percentage is all that matters. All right, guys, this is Joel with the Crypto Code. Hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm going to go try to catch some fish. I'm going to go try to find that dolphin. It was a big dolphin. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching the Crypto Code. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more crypto insights. Let me know your thoughts on today's video in the comments below. You can also check out what we do here at the Crypto Code by registering for one of our free workshops where we show you how we and our students profit in crypto, no matter if the markets are up or down. If you register for the workshop, you also get access to a free weekly trade alert. Attend our free workshop, take a short quiz at the end, and we will send you $10 in Bitcoin. No purchase needed. We have already given away hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Bitcoin just this year alone. Just look for the link in the description of this video to register for the workshop. It will be worth your time. Our public trade record currently has a 90% win rate, and you can view it here. Best of luck with your investments, and remember to stay informed and stay safe in the crypto world. See you next time.